today's video we're going to add server roles to Windows Server 2019. We're going to add Active Directory domain services, DNS and dhcp. We need to change from a dynamically assigned IP address to a static IP address. Okay, so here we are at the Server Manager dashboard. If we just click on Local Server to enable remote desktop, we need to click on Allow remote connections to this computer. Click OK. This setting is perfectly fine. Click Apply and OK. Next, we need to change the IP address from a dynamically assigned to a statically assigned. So we'll just get rid of the IPv6 because I'm not going to use it. Click on IPv4. Then we need to find out what the IP address is, so again that we can change it from a dynamically assigned to a statically assigned. So you can either go to command prompts or PowerShell and just type ipconfig, and there's the IP address 192.168.0.174. So if we just change it to 168.0.174, hit tab and tab, then 192.168.0.1, and this is the router's default gateway. That's the router for access to the internet. Change the preferred DNS, but we're going to change it to a public Google's DNS. We don't need to validate, we just click OK and click OK. Okay, I'm going to restart the server and we'll be right back as soon as it's restarted. Okay, so the initial steps are configured. I changed the computer name to VM 2019 and the dhcp IP address to a statically assigned IP address. Next, we need to go in Server Manager up to Manage and add roles and features. Click Next. We'll go with role-based or feature-based installation. In future videos we can discuss the remote desktop services installation. Then we need to go to Active Directory domain services, add all the features associated, then click on dhcp, add features, and DNS and add features. In this video it will be DNS and dhcp on the same server. However, in the future I will do the roles on different servers and how they interact with each other. So you just click Next to go through all of this and restart the destination server automatically if required. I'll pause the video here and return as soon as it's finished. Okay, so now we've completed the initial steps of changing the computer name and changing the DHCP or dynamically assigned IP address to static. We're going to promote this server to a domain controller, and I'll walk you through the steps. So what we need to do is add a new forest and create a domain name. And we'll just pop in a password here. A delegation for this DNS server cannot be created because the authoritative parent zone cannot be found. That's because there isn't an authoritative parent zone. This is the only server. So, next. So we just click Next. So click Install. Okay everybody, so we've completed the installation of Active Directory, Domain Services, dhcp and DNS. So if we just go up to the flag up at this top right hand corner, and it says to complete dhcp configuration, click this link. So we just click next, commit, and close. Hit refresh. That should be done. So now if we go into dhcp and then right click in the main body, click on dhcp manager, and if we just right click on the server here, so it's listing on 174, click OK, click on IPv4, right click and click on new scope. So we're just going to create an IP pool for the DHCP server to be able to distribute IP addresses to all the devices attached on the network. We'll just call it new scope. Starting IP of 192.168.0, and we'll start at 100 and end with 192.168.0, 150. Hit next. We don't need to worry about excluding any IP ranges at the moment. Click next. So for the router, we just put the 192.168.0.1. That's typical, like I said for earlier, for UK routers, UK household routers or routers, depending on where you're from. The parent domain is the fully qualified domain name that we created earlier. So www.whynot.test.com. Hit next. Forget about that. Hit next. Click next, and that's the scope activated. So we've installed Active Directory Domain Services, so this server is a domain controller, DHCP and DNS. I hope you like the demonstration. If so, hit subscribe or like and leave a